Hi friends, I'm Joe Hopkins, and this is 5 Minutes to Make Sense of the Bible. This week, we're focusing on 1 Samuel chapters 8 through 14. This short reflection is especially meant for folks who are reading 1 and 2 Samuel as part of the Life and Times of King David reading program of Streetsville United Church. But even if you're not participating in the program, listen on, dear friends. So let's summarize this next set of chapters. The prophet and judge Samuel has gotten old, and all of a sudden, the tribes of Israel want a king over them. But the request for a change in government doesn't just come from nowhere. The people are looking at Samuel's sons, who are totally corrupt, much like Eli's sons from the previous chapters, and they can see the cycle of corruption about to begin again. So why not try something new, like monarchy? There's a bit of back and forth between the Israelite people and Samuel, but eventually Samuel gives in. And then the man who would be king shows up, looking for his lost donkeys which wandered by Samuel's workplace, the shrine. Saul comes from the tribe of Benjamin, and as soon as Samuel sees Saul, God tells Samuel that God has chosen Saul to be king. Samuel has dinner with Saul and then anoints Saul with oil. And then Saul gets kind of slain in the spirit and he prophesies. Interesting way to begin one's royal rule. Then Samuel proclaims Saul as king to all the people and proves that Saul is God's selection by drawing lots. Saul goes off to fight a neighboring tribe, the Ammonites, and the people acclaim Saul as king. In case you're keeping track, that's the third time that Saul has become king. Interesting, right? Back to Samuel, though. The aged prophet Samuel has a fireside chat with the people of Israel, and quite oddly, the people seem to regret their request for a king. Samuel tells the people that no matter their government, they need to obey the commandments of God, or else. That, dear friends, is called foreshadowing. And then the troubles with Saul bubbles up. Not even 2 chapters after he becomes king. First, Saul usurps priestly authority by presiding over a sacrifice to God instead of the prophet Samuel. Saul figures that he doesn't have all day to wait for Samuel. He's got battles to fight after all. But Samuel, and apparently God, are not pleased. And then Saul fights the Philistines again. I hope you can get used to battles against the Philistines. There's a lot of them in the books of Samuel. And Saul curses anyone who eats food before he wins the battle. Strange curse to make. But to make things worse, Saul's son, Jonathan, didn't hear his dear old dad utter the curse, and Jonathan ate some honey. King Saul, on the other hand, had to eat some metaphorical crow so that he didn't have to execute his own son. Very embarrassing, and only the beginning of the issues with Israel's first kings. But so what? Here are some questions for a reflection. First, when you get frustrated with the sitting government, how do you respond? Do you ever long for a benevolent tyrant, or maybe a different system of government? Question 2. How do you feel about mixing religion and government? How do you respond when a politician invokes God? Question 3. How does your faith impact how you engage in the political process, whether voting in elections or advocating for a particular issue? So there, 5 minutes to make sense of the Bible. I hope that you'll continue to read the rest of the books of Samuel and notice details that pique your curiosity. In my experience, God often tries to catch our attention by piquing our curiosity. And as good as reading the Bible by ourselves is, remember that we make the most sense of the Bible when we read the Bible together. Peace, friends.